Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Rando Rob. Today is May 10th, which means it is the day after Mother's Day. So I hope you had a good Mother's Day. I hope those of you that are, I should say those of you that are married to a woman who is a mother, then I hope you had a good Mother's Day with her. If you are a mother, I don't think there are any mothers on my Patreon list, but if you are, then happy Mother's Day to you. And then I hope if you're fortunate enough to still have your mom around, then I hope that your mom had a good Mother's Day. The item that I picked to talk about is something that my mom bought for me, and it's not really anything that's super special or anything like that, but I talk a lot on my podcasts, on my shows, on my streams, and on my blog. I always seem to talk about my dad, and I always say, oh, my dad got us our first computer, my dad got us a VCR, my dad did all these things, and so it's not that my mom didn't do a lot of things, and my mom did a million things for us. But it's just that my dad was the one that was into technology, and so it's easy to tell those stories. It's easy to say, oh yeah, my dad, so my dad worked overtime and got this bonus money and stuff. And I'm sure it was that money that got us the VCR. But my mom was the one who always ran the VCR. When we got a portable one, she was the one that would take it to the zoo or bring it to school and film all our shows and performances and stuff like that, So they were definitely both, equal parts of my upbringing. And I think I've mentioned this before, but my mom and her mom, my grandma who's passed away, were big garage sailors. They loved going to garage sales. They loved buying stuff. They would buy stuff for themselves. They would buy stuff for other people. Now today, it's not that unusual for someone to call me because we have cell phones, right? My mom will text me and say, hey, I'm at a garage sale. My mom texted me 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm at a garage sale and I saw this lunchbox and I don't know if it's one you have. And she sent me a picture and I was like, I'm going to pass on that one, but thanks. But she's always, at garage sales and thrift stores, things like that. When she sees something that she thinks I might like, she will either text me or sometimes she'll just pick it up. And so this is something that she picked up. And, I forgot to change the picture over there to the side that is on there from the last Rando Rob, the May the 4th, but it's certainly fitting with this as well. This is a giant box thing you will see here, and it says Return of the Jedi. I'm going to put it here, but I'm going to talk around this so I can talk into the mic for a moment. On the back, you'll see lots of screenshots from Return of the Jedi. And what this is, if you open it up, is these are, now the stories for some reason are not all Return of the Jedi. Only one, no, I take it back. 2 of them are Return of the Jedi. I'm going to try to pull these out here real quick. So I'm not really sure what she ended up getting here. But what this is someone's collection of the read-along type of books on cassette. So I'm going to try to do this without everything falling out and this thing falling apart all at once, because the spine is mostly ripped apart as well right now. But if you can see, there are 6 cassettes here, and then there's a whole stack of books over to the side. Now, the 6 cassettes that are in the front here. What am I doing? Sorry, I hit an extra button. There we go. The 6 cassettes are, 3 of them are Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and the Ewoks join the fight. And they are joined by the Dark Crystal, E.T., and the Black Hole. So those are good. But this other side here is full of books. And I obviously, there's more books than there are tapes. So I think when you bought this, and it says on the spine, it says take along audio. So if you wanted to take 6 tapes with you, this is what you carried around as a kid. I don't know how many. I don't know if it came with only Star Wars ones. I should look that up. But so here's the books that are in here. Number 1, this is Star Wars Droid World: The Further Adventures. Look at old 3PO there doing something. It looks like not quite a Dalek, but something similar, shooting or coming after them with a giant can opener hand. Next is one we all know. This is Return of the Jedi. Next is another Star Wars one here. This is the Planet of the Hoojibs. Oh, you know what? Yeah, so I guess these are all part of the Further Adventures. This is Planet of the Hoojibs. Next up, the Ewoks join the fight. This is a cool one. Ewoks joining the fight. Now, this is a classic one. This is E.T., the story of E.T. as told by Gertie, starring Drew Barrymore. So if you want to hear Drew Barrymore tell you all about E.T., there you go. By the way, these have pictures on the back, too, that says it has a book full of illustrations, and then there is 2 kids listening to the tape. And I want to see, look at this tape recorder down there. They are listening to the story of E.T. as told by Gertie. This is a classic, Star Wars. And following Star Wars, what do you have? Empire Strikes Back. And then we have the Black Hole, which the tape was in there for. I love the Black Hole. It's a classic. This is another one that the story was in there. The Dark Crystal. That's a good one. Now, here are 2 that don't have the tapes with them. This is The Black Stallion Returns. This is part 2 of the Black Stallion legacy. And finally, this one looks like it would be really good, but this also does not have the cassette tape, unfortunately. But it is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Lots of cool. All these always have cool pictures, you know. Let's flip through here. There's a bunch of dudes. There's a bunch of guys at the bottom of the ocean. There's Captain Nemo. Oh, and then here's where they've encountered things at the bottom of the ocean. Big monsters. So I'm sure you're familiar with these, but you would put these, the original ones that I had as a kid were a record, and you put the record on and it reads along with the story. And then, when it's time to turn the page, it makes a little beep. The Star Wars ones have R2-D2, and he makes his little R2-D2 noise, pew, 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 and then you turn the page. So they have little custom sounds and things like that. But then obviously, as times moved on, they listen to that. That's cool. Got away from records and they moved to cassettes. And so that's what this is this package of cassettes. Now, I would like to say that my mom bought this for me shortly after Return of the Jedi came out in 1983. But in reality, she bought this for me in 2019. About 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, at a garage sale. She bought this. She's found this thing and just bought it and said, "Hey, I found you this Star Wars thing. I didn't know if you had it. It was only $1." And so she bought it and brought it over, And I mean, that's my mom and garage sales and things like that. She's always going to garage sales. She's always looking for a good bargain, and I'm sure some of those things she keeps for herself now that she has grandkids for me and grandkids for my sister. She buys a lot of toys that she finds at they have these big antique sale things, toy sales at the flea market. No, not the flea market, at the fairgrounds. And she goes to those and will buy toys and things like that for the grandkids to play with when they come over there. So she's always looking for a bargain, but a lot of times she's shopping for somebody else, which is makes it easier to justify. I think sometimes if you go, well, I'm buying this, but this is for somebody else, and she'll give it away or whatever. But she's always got one eye out for a good deal. And so both of my parents are, my dad turned 73 last month, and my mom is 72. She will turn 73 later this year, and getting around just fine, driving, garage sailing, going and doing. It's funny because when I say she'll be 73, in my head, when I think of 73, I don't think of, somebody my mom's age. And but it was great to see her on Mother's Day, and I could literally pull out 100 things of things that my mom has picked up for me, either when I was a kid or over the years or whatever. And that's a fun thing that she used to do and continues to do. So anyway, I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day, however you were able to celebrate and who you celebrated it with. I know that we did. And I've got some podcast stuff to work on, and I think that's it. So thank you guys, as always, and I will talk to you in a couple of days on a new episode of You Don't Know. No, Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle's this week. Oh, I've got my wires crossed. I got to get a game right now. So talk to you guys soon.